Welcome back, MTG Joe here. Today I'm going to demo a deck that got me my top 1200 qualifier play-in points for the March season. I've been playing some Alchemy ahead the May qualifier, mistook it, I thought it was April, but May's qualifier is Alchemy, and I wanted to break from standard. This format's actually a ton of fun. There's quite a few decks I've been playing and enjoying a lot. I ended up finishing, I peaked about 500 Mythic with this one. With the Grixis Chorus deck, I got to top 250, and then I just kind of held for 3 days, and I finished in the top 1200. But I want to demo and kind of fine-tune the list a little bit more. But this is a Orzhov pixie list in Alchemy. We're going to be playing some best of one today, kind of getting a feel for it. But the card that's really, really strong in this recent drop is Nantuckum Shines Again. So 3 mana, all your creatures get of value 2 or less, perpetually get 1/1, so they all get bonus. You seek a creature, so you pull a creature from your library that's 2 CMC or less, and you put it into the battlefield. And then mode 3 is all your creatures 2 CMC or less get flying. So what we're trying to do is basically with Pixie, pick this up, replay it again, dedicated doll maker, blink it, and then get another copy of it, and just kind of keep stacking that perpetual and make your creatures very large. We also have the ability with Mischievous Lookout. It's a 2 mana 2/1 enchantment creature, and then once per turn you can cast a non-aura enchantment that's a non-creature from your library, your graveyard, and it becomes a 2/1 creature in addition. So you can then make copies of this from your graveyard, and then it gives itself the boost in terms of power, which is a really kind of cool. Or actually, this one wouldn't because it's 3 CMC, but gives you the boost, and you kind of just keep pulling creatures from your library. So the rest of the deck, it's like a pixie deck. So we have Optimistic Scavenger, we have Hopeless Nightmare, obviously to do your loops. I went with a split of Momentum Breaker versus Nowhere to Run. There's a lot of there's still some aggro decks, creature decks, the Rabbits deck, stuff like that. The Birds deck is actually very strong. A lot of the decks do present wide boards at times, so being able to target was more important, I found, than the sacrifice effect. But the cool thing here is you can sack this to gain the life and then recast it with Mischievous Lookout. You have Overlord of the Balemark that lets you find stuff. You can blink it with dedicated doll maker as well, fills your graveyard for the lookout. It's a nice turn 2 play, that's an enchantment. And then the card I've been playing is Sunblessed Healer, 3 of here. So it's in here because it's a creature that over time with the perpetual is just a big life linker that can help you against the aggressive decks. But for the most part, it's 4 mana, and when you kick it, you get to return non-land permanent with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard. So you can rebuy removal, you can rebuy your doll makers, your Mischievous Lookouts. It's just another way to take advantage of stuff going into your graveyard. The last flex spot I'm trying out is Deadweight. It's an aura. It doesn't usually stick around the battlefield, but it's an enchantment to trigger Optimistic Scavenger. Notably, it's an aura, so you can't get it back with Lookout. But I wanted something that's basically, we don't have cut down, we don't have like a portable hole style effect. I wanted something to just deal another 1 mana play, because realistically, like Pixie's not a 1 mana spell, and I didn't want more 2 mana spells on the play when your opponent's curving out. So just having 1 mana removal. The only thing I find a little awkward, obviously with Alchemy, there's fewer lands, so we are playing 6 tap lands. Sometimes the mana base can be a little awkward. That's why we're not doing Esper. I would love the Nowhere to Run Storm Chasers talent package, but kind of going from there. Sideboard I haven't really worked out right now. There's some cards from a deck that I imported, and I've been tuning it since. So we're going to try it out. I'm going to just do a straight run. Wins, losses, I'm going to show everything. We might go 5-0, we might go 0-5. Tonight, for example, I started playing since the ladder reset. I'm plat tier 3, so that's 9. I'm 10-1. I only lost once to someone playing my honors deck. But we're going to just continue playing and see how this goes. The important thing when you're like testing stuff like this, just especially best of one, there's going to be times you're just going to get varianced, right? You're going to be on the play, your opponent's going to have the nuts, you're going to mana screw, you don't have sideboard, draw around a half, but we just want to see consistently, can we win enough to kind of play it out? And then kind of just explain the lines. I know this deck works, so we'll see how it plays out. This hand here is pretty good. What you want to see is removal early if needed. We have the Hopeless Nightmare plus Pixie on turn 2. So we can pick that up. We have Nantuckum as a turn 3 play potentially, and kind of go out from there. The only downside with this line, I guess if we draw an untapped land, it's really good. Then we can double spell. We can Hopeless Nightmare and then Pixie Nightmare potentially on turn 2. So this is the Exhaust deck. So this creates a copy of Training Grounds. It's very strong in reducing your activated ability costs. So there's like a Merfolk kind of combo deck in place. So here's actually an interesting line. They are short on lands. Activating the ability does have some benefit. But I think just at this point here, I may opt to just get stuff to the board. We can start attacking their hand as they kind of stumble, because their hand right now is going to be all spells. Now we do have to be mindful, sometimes these do play Agatha's Soul Cauldron, so filling their yard might be the wrong play. So it could have been right that we took out the track hand. The deadweight's not bad. I think we do continue to eat at their hand here. So notably, this would get a cost reduction. But we have some time here. And then I can also just know where to run this Pixie. We're playing 22 lands. I found 23. I was flooding a bit. Obviously, we're getting kind of stuck here. I think this is the April Fool's finish of the deck. This is kind of cool. This with the cost reduction is just a loot effect. So we might end up killing that. So here we're going to name white. A couple lines, obviously. We can pump the team and just push through damage. I can Hopeless Nightmare and know where to run something, which can also be good. This untaps in another turn. I think what we're going to do, though, they're kind of trapped on mana. I actually needed to play this first, so I missed a couple points of damage. That was a mistake on my part. One thing to note with this, if your opponent heists your cards, this is all creatures you own, so it gives the boost to the other side as well. Choose one if you have max speed. The opponent just kind of stumbled a bit. Now we can see the power here. I think I'm going to deadweight here. And then they're just dead with the Hopeless Nightmare trigger. So even though we kind of stumbled, obviously the opponent stumbled a bit on lands, so it was a bit of a non-game on their part. They did commit quite a bit to the board. If we look at, they played 4 spells. But the intent there is to eat away at their hand. I think the only line that could have been different was, given that their deck relies so much on the Training Grounds, it could have been right to just take out their card on turn 1. We set ourselves back a bit, or on turn 2. It's an interesting line either way. We ended up taking a more aggressively slanted deck approach, but I think if we do it over because they lean on the graveyard, it could have been reasonable. And these are the things. You just want to look through these lines as you're playing through the deck. Can you take different lines? Like, there's a lot of decision points here. The sequencing in terms of when you play your effects, when you kind of go for your Saga versus when you're a control deck versus when you're an aggressive deck. I find this deck interesting to play because you can play a bunch of different roles there. We're playing MTG Arena player. So we'll keep this. So there is an Omniscience combo in this format. It uses Thousand Sun. There's also like these artifact decks that are pretty strong. This is actually a pretty strong start for us, especially if we could hit a land next turn, we kind of go off. There's a couple different versions. There's the ones that play kind of an aggressively slanted. Some of these will play sweepers as well, so we have to be mindful. So this card here, Hangerback Assembler, was something I was also considering for the deck. It gives you a way... This is actually an interesting line. I think I just want to take the card out of their hand. We don't really get value out of this right now. And then this lets me get my second one bigger. I'll explain the card in a sec. But at this point, just taking him off utility seems good. I can then tuck him next turn. They might not block here. But this card I was thinking about for the deck as well. While we don't play the artifact theme, blinking it just to get hangerback walkers that then gives you kind of more value. So this is one of another way that they could gum up the board, which is pretty strong. So this here, cruise 4, and then you can get something from the spell book. So here, it's actually a pretty strong line. I think I might offer them the trade. Like if they want to either throw some things in the way, we're going to just keep getting value turn over turn. But I think we just need to gum up the board a bit more. 5. Might have been right to attack in with this as well. They probably don't need it. They have Collector's Cage. Notably, everything's the same power here. This card can snowball pretty hard. Once you reach max speed at your end step, it's basically counters on everything. So we Dollmaker this. This gets us another thing. Here we're just going to start putting counters on different things. Now notably, this will eventually get us flying. But they're going to be, they can chump block for a while, which is kind of annoying. But just kind of keep hitting our stuff. This can also start draining them. Simulacrum can make some pretty big counters. They are forced to block though, which bodes well for us. Okay, they've had enough. Just the power, you can see our 1-drops suddenly become like 7 power creatures. So they're able to chain kind of a few things. That top end vehicle is pretty good at just gumming up the board. We can deal with really big things. They'll go wide. Sometimes can be a bit of a problem. Our stuff like Nowhere to Run only targets 1 creature. We don't have anything like Perforator Croc. What we may want against some of those decks is I think we keep this. It's not the best hand. A lead on the plains provides less information. The reason I kept this is we have removal on 2. Worst case, I'm just playing this out as a creature and then try to Nantuckum. I think the combinations of like Nantuckum, Dollkeeper is very, or Dollmaker is very strong. Just go random beater here. Spectral Sailors. This could be the Flyers deck. It's the Flyers deck. I don't really want to hit that. Didn't have another play. We may have to go back up a land. We'll see as we play out more games. They want to flash something in. think we're just going to do this because my play is going to be nowhere to run their creature and then tuck them. Try to get them to react here. I mean, we can take another turn. I don't necessarily want to doll maker this right now, and I don't want to play this into potential counterspell. Okay. 3-tree battalion. What do? Whenever this creature or another creature you control flying dies, return target creature with lesser mana value from... That's actually pretty annoying. We're at pretty high life total. If we take this, I'm going to know where to run this one here. The reason being, if I can slip down and tuck them, it makes it a little bit better. Gotta try. If they have the counter, they have the counter at this point. Because I can start casting it with the like the outlook from the graveyard. Ah, that one's an annoying one. I think we are passing the turn here. No sense trading down here. We have enough life total that we can play around with. Mana base is very odd. Second Sailor. We're gonna blink nowhere to run here. We'll do this. Now we have the choice, we can blink, but I kinda don't want this to get hit. But if they do this, then they can't counter. Or they can't play 3-tree battalion. So that gets them there. We're down to 7. They hit their second. They'll sometimes play the plot bird. Let's be my... Oh, they can activate that following turn. Just gonna force them to use their mana. That resolving is huge. So we are going to put a counter there. And then if this resolves, this is big too, because now we target this. This gets it to 4. That'll be 3. That goes to 4. So they can double block there, but then they're dead, so they can't really double block. We're good there to attack. Okay, it's another good one, the Collected Company effect. These could get kind of annoying making blockers, but they can multi-block there, it's fine. They can take 5 here. Get an Ethereum back. This gives them 2 blockers per turn. But we have this attack with the Restless Fortress, which will drain them 2. And then we have the ability with Pixie to pick something up, potentially. If we hit that, if we get a blink, yeah, we just win that way there. Their mana, I usually don't play that many basics. Like in my, like I could show you my take on birds. I think it's 3/2/2 or 3/3 with basics. They're just very heavy on blue on theirs. Because like on my birds list, where are you birds? Got Pixie, Omni. Ah, there we go. I am 4/4, so they could have just drawn poorly there. Another deck that Nantuckum is really strong in. But we are already up to flat tier 2. We'll do one more for the video, get a feel. And then wrap this up, give you a nice little feel of what the deck can do. But really just Nantuckum is a hell of a card. You're blinking it, you're targeting it, you're getting value from it. But let's see what's happening. So we're gonna keep this. There's a line here where we obviously play this on 1, hold this on 2. But I think in the dark, I do want to play this out. I think I'm gonna keep the land. The reason being, depending on what they do, we may want to lead. Okay, so this card is a card you need to kill on sight out of the bird deck. So this actually works out nicely because I can go Scavenger here. This becomes very large when you get Mockingbird or additional copies of it. Okay, the opponent just has had enough. So that's the deck. This is the deck that I cruised into the top 1200 with, camped, got to basically retire my season 3 days early, and then just let Decay do its thing. But let me know what you think, if you have any suggestions to the deck, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching.